Hello YouTube, it's Victoria. Oh, I'm a hot mess today. That was moisturizer. So today is a get ready with me and how to become a professional counselor. Okay, so I figured that I may as well do a video about it because I have been getting a lot of questions, a lot of messages, both on here, personal, Facebook, you know, all that fun stuff. So if you're ready, keep on watching. So today I am going to use my neorhythm because I'm feeling some kind of way. Since it's on the previous relax setting, all I have to do is tap it. So because it doesn't stay very well on the back of my head, I put my hair up in like a quasi bun, like lower, so it'll kind of prop it up. I know it's kind of ghetto, but you know, it works. Okay. Right now I have it on the meditation theta, so it's kind of like the moderate anxiety one. Okay, just put it on the back of your head, and that's it. So this is a get ready with me, and I'm gonna go back and forth between putting my face on because I have telehealth all this morning. Put my makeup in here. And this afternoon I have my intern coming in, so I gotta look my best, right? And I'll go back and forth and give you info with how to become an LPC. So an LPC is a licensed professional counselor, and I am licensed here in the state of Pennsylvania. All right. So of course, each state, what you'll discover is that it's different. Okay, with regards to the hours, if you're KCREP accredited or not. We'll get into KCREP here in a second, okay? And what that means for you as the would-be therapist, okay? So in each of the licensing, okay, I can assume maybe that the requirements are the same. When I was looking at licensure for Illinois, it's the same, you know, especially if you didn't go to a KCREP school, which I didn't, the requirements are the same. So they're looking at 8 main courses, okay, in order to be licensed as an LPC or LCPC or whatever in your state, whatever it's called, okay, you need to, is this really an ad? I'm sorry. You'll need to have 8 of these courses, okay? But before we begin anywhere, your bachelor's degree. You have to have a bachelor's, all right? And there are programs where like an accelerated program where it's like the bachelor's and the master's that run together. Okay, I'm not sure if that's particularly offered. I've heard of it being offered. I know for the social work track. So I can't not say that it isn't offered, but if that is a possibility, just know you're going to go fast and furious. I opted for a traditional course plan for this because of the hours. Okay, so the difference between an MAP, Masters of Arts in Psych, and the MSCP, which is what I am, a Master's of Science in Counseling Psychology, okay, is a difference of 12 hours. MAP is 48 hours and MSCP is 60 hours. Okay. So the difference there is the supervision. Okay. May as well go MSCP anyways. So you're going to be licensed and stuff. You're going to have to do the supervisory hours anyways, which I'll get into here in just a sec. Okay. So with the bachelor's degree, when you're choosing an MAP or an MSCP program, okay, they would like for you to have a degree that's in a helping field, close to a helping field. Like I had a start of a pre-med for mine. Definitely nothing. I've had psychology originally, or initially I wasn't a fan, but then thinking about it, I'm like, oh my God, yes, yes I have, okay. And that was with the help of my therapist, helping me discover that. Okay, so a lot of it is kind of finding which one you want to do. Okay, there's also clinical and counseling. And so the way that I look at it, never say bad. The way that you look at it is focusing on the problem versus focusing on what caused it, and let's fix it. Okay, that's my ideal with it. I mean, of course, technicalities with clinical psychology versus, or clinical counseling versus, the counseling side of things, but that's the way that I was able to get it stuck into my head. So I do counseling psychology, and I absolutely love it. And I'm glad that my doc had helped me discover this. Okay, so now you want to be an LPC. You got a bachelor's degree that kind of meets the, I don't want to say criteria, but meets criteria, I guess, to be selected for a master's program. Okay, so I went to a brick and mortar school. I went to Chatham University. Okay, in Pittsburgh. Awesome school. Loved some of the professors. They were amazing. But it doesn't have to necessarily be a brick and mortar school. There are a lot of online programs that will help or that do a similar job, but you have to look at what those online schools have to offer, okay? Because a lot of online schools will give you the education or, and things like that, but there will be a disclaimer, cannot be used for licensure or whatever the case is. So you have to ask a lot of questions. Will this program, if I give you my money and you teach me, will this program help me gain a license to become an LPC in my state? Okay. I've had a couple that have messaged me, were not happy when I would take a look at some of their things there, but adjust and overcome. You worked this goddamn hard already. Adjust and overcome, drive on, okay? So generally the program is 2 years, okay? So I went from August of 13 to May of 15, okay? Because my school is in KCREP, okay? So I'm going to give you the official KCREP. So it's an accrediting program, or it accredits master's and doctoral degree programs in counseling and its specialties. But because you didn't go to a KCREP accredited school doesn't mean that you can't get a job, okay? It's a type of standard that ensures basically that all programs are aligned the same way, all right? My school wasn't aligned in their format, but I still met the requirement and still did all the things that I got to do that mean that their requirement, okay? So is that a bad thing? Not necessarily. Now, if you wanted to work for the VA, they will not take anybody that did not graduate from a KCREP accredited school. End of story. There was a big old thing in the ACA, the American Counseling Association. There's no loophole. There's nothing, okay? So if that's something that you want to do, then go find a KCREP school. Here in Pennsylvania, where I'm next to, you have Slippery Rock University, that's KCREP, University of Pittsburgh, Duquesne, Carnegie Mellon, I believe is KCREP. So you have options. I liked Chatham because it was more personal, one-on-one, very girl power, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. So, but again, the main question, will it help you get through licensure? Yes. Yes, it will. Okay. And so once you decide on a school, if it meets, if it tickles your fancy, if it meets what it is that you're trying to achieve, right? Okay. Then look at open enrollment for the master's program. And again, you may as well just do the MSCP program, get all the hours out of the way while you're in school, while you're being supervised, may as well. And you would end up together with your cohort anyways. So your cohort is kind of like think back, like kindergarten or anything like that, especially if you went to a smaller school, okay? Like I went to a Catholic school, so that was my cohort, okay, my class, all right, that you start with, okay? So you'll start by doing the application process. They'll ask for official transcripts, you know, like your, not a purpose statement, personal statement, okay? You know, what do you plan to do? What is it that you want to achieve from here? What is it you want to gain? Okay, I could kind of guide you, but I can't make up that for you because it's your own personal statement. It's your own goal, okay? My goal is to help others like me, so soldiers, veterans, whatever, that have suffered through any, you know, their own traumas or mental health issues and stuff, and needed to find, you know, somebody that understood, because I was one of those people. You know, if you've watched any of my videos, oh, and welcome new ones, by the way, I'm sorry. Like I said, it was a kind of a frazzly morning. My first therapist and I, before this current therapist, I've had a few therapists and stuff in the military and out of the military that I didn't mesh with, I didn't have a good rapport with, I didn't feel like I could trust them, like, and because, you know, the actual psychologists themselves hadn't been to combat, they weren't in the military. They didn't know, they couldn't associate. And I know, I get it, I shouldn't, I'm shooting on myself, base it on that, but that's what I was looking for, because why am I going to waste my time with somebody who just read from a book or just had the experience from supervision that didn't know what I was going through? You see what I'm saying? So those of us that do have that, it's kind of like the same thing that you and I do. It's called being a wounded healer. All right. But in this case, that means, though, you have to really keep yourself in check. So that way you don't have that transference or, you know, negative reaction to what is being said during session. Okay, that comes later. So you send out all your prerequisite work or you prerequisite stuff, you know, things that are requested of you, okay, to the school. You get your letter that says, yes, we bless you, blase, blase. You're awesome. All right. Books, obviously they have the bookstores there. Now, when you come into the master's, you know, doctoral level, these books aren't your little Macmillan reading type books or anything like that. These are some expensive ass books, okay? But I decided to keep actually all of my psych books and then purchase some other ones because other things I wanted to explore. Okay, fine. Because now, again, you're at the master's level. This kind of, like, I don't want to say ups the ante, but it almost ups the ante whenever it comes to your student loans or how you're going to pay for it, because the classes are much more expensive. Okay, so let's say I went to AMU, it was $250 an hour. So for 3 of the credits a class, so it's like $750, right? You're talking like $1,000 or $2,000 per class. Okay, so because of that, also, you know, the expectation of you is higher, so you're not allowed to get below a B-. But again, you're learning this at a master's level, at a higher level, so of course that expectation is of you. Okay, to be honest, you would really royally have to mess up in order to receive grades like that. I'm not saying it's easy, okay, but the material is put out a majority of the time, okay, and I say that because every professor is different, okay, there are different expectations, different styles of writing, and that's where you need to have that open communication with your professors, you know, utilize your cohort because you guys are there together to embrace the suck, to support each other, okay? So that's where they come in, all right? So now you're doing your hours and everything else too. The main premise that makes the school, okay, licensable or utilizing the license, okay, is that each state, so I have Chapter 49, which is the Pennsylvania Code for, it is called State Board of Social Workers, Marriage and Family Therapists, and Professional Counselors, Licensure of Professional Counselors. Try and say that 10 times fast. This is like our Bible with how to become licensed in the state, okay? And so with that being said, 8 main courses, okay, so these are going to be the requirements. I don't believe it's core courses, but these are like the main courses that everybody has to take, okay, in order to be licensable, okay? You have human growth and development, okay, understanding of nature and needs of individuals of all developmental types. You need to understand each stage of life, both physically, mentally, psychologically, all that stuff, and how each are different, okay? Social and cultural foundations, mine was called multicultural, you know, studies and stuff, and this is to provide you information on issues and multicultural trends, diversity, adversity, things like that. What the hell's going on right now? BLM, okay? And inequality whenever it comes to that too. So that's going to be a heavy, okay, thing there. Helping relations, this is going to be understanding counseling and consultation. So this was the integrative therapies and stuff. Group work, so we have to do groups, understanding groups, how to do our own groups, like lead our own groups and such like that, okay? So I'm using my Sakura and Sage palette. Thank you, sister. She gave it to me, so. But anyhow, there's the group work, career and lifestyle development. So this is vocational development, okay? And what this does is to help you help others, you know, like, so vocational rehab counselors and stuff, they actually help, a lot of them have psych backgrounds, okay? They actually help people matching their jobs. So Myers-Briggs tests, you know, a lot of those personality tests and everything else too are what a lot of jobs use, you know, kind of like, oh, here, take this little test for us, you know, and see if you're a match. It's basically what it is, okay? It's like Match.com, but for work. All right. So I told you about career, lifestyle. Okay, this one is appraisal. So this is kind of the assessments. All right, you're going to learn how to assess patients. I call them patients, not clients. Thank you. But you're going to learn how to assess patients. Okay, and this is how to go through the actual session, I guess, you know, start to finish. Intakes, what kind of tools you're going to be using. So are you going to be using the Ways? Are you going to be using a depression inventory, Beck's depression inventory, things like that. You get to learn about all those things. Okay, research and program evaluation. This is statistics. You have to take statistics. If you're not a fan of numbers like I am, sorry for you, it's a graduation requirement, okay? But it helps you kind of understand and perform your own research with regards to, like, you see those journal articles, and they do these studies, like blind studies, and you have an ANOVA of, you have chi-square of, you know, this is where you learn how to plug those numbers in. So you get to be one of the ones to find those numbers and understand what that means, okay? Standard deviation and things like that. And then you also have a professional orientation, okay? So this is organizational structures, ethics, standards, credentialing, okay? So this is your ethics class, okay? What you'll also find as well when it comes to ethics, and this is why I keep Chapter 49 very handy, as well as my ACA code of ethics, is that there is a lot of gray area, okay, whenever it comes to our jobs. And it's not like set in stone, oh, you can do that, no, you can't do that. No, there are going to be some ethical dilemmas that you may be faced with, and we've all faced them, okay? And if you can't find it here or in your code of ethics, this is why you confer with your fellow counselors, okay? Ask the teacher. You guys are going to be students, okay? So anyway, as you go through your courses, and if you decide to get all those out of the way, which is what I did, you get to go through practicum. Yay! So this is like your supervision, all right? And when you select a supervision site or a practicum site, which in turn becomes an internship site, if you're allowed, you look for something that you match with, okay? Look for something that interests you, that'll help you meet your requirements, because you do need hours for group, you do need hours for, I have a brain fart. You do need hours for group, individual sessions, and such like that, okay? So that's what will have to be. And so a lot of these for the clinical experience, so I have chapter 49 pulled up here, so I'm not leading you astray. You need assessment, so you need intakes, you know, how would you assess, or how would you discern different things about your patient, right? Obviously the counseling, the therapy, what therapy choice, you know, what other type of interventions, is there family therapy, is there group therapy? Those are the types of things that you get supervised on, okay? As far as hours as well, okay? So to my understanding, if I recall correctly, I believe it's 300 hours. I believe it's 300 hours. 300 hours of supervision. So like your first, what do we call it? Practicum, okay? And then 600 hours total in the graduate level, all right, supervised, okay? Not only by me, like I'm state board certified, but with help of a faculty, because they actually have a supervision course, okay? Or courses, I should say, all right? And that is split between the 2 semesters. So it's not like, oh, you have to do 600 hours, no. So it'll be 300 for the one semester and 300 for the other, all right? Really, it doesn't seem bad, but I mean, it's, it really isn't, but it's the paperwork, it's the being able, you know, keeping track of all your hours and everything else too, which isn't bad still, but you know, you need good organizational skills for this, okay? From there, after you've met all the requirements, whatever other courses that you need in order to graduate, okay, you're, the school will allow you the opportunity to take the NCE. Yay! The NCE is the National Counselor Examination, okay? And this is the exam for licensure, and that also you can utilize for another type of credentialing, but we'll get into that in another video. Don't want to overwhelm you too terribly, okay? From there, you'll need to, if you can take it on campus, I would suggest you take it on campus. That way all the information is fresh in your head. Plus they also have the school, like Chatham, provided study sessions with professors that took the time out of their busy day to help everybody pass, okay? Well, not just to pass, but you know, to help them study and to ask questions if needed, okay? So take advantage of those. I didn't take advantage of that, and so I felt like it was that much harder for me to to study, but I passed it, okay? I believe you need an 85, which is the minimum cutoff to pass, all right? So a lot of it is still going to be fresh when you're in school, all right? So if you have your hours and you meet all the prerequisites and everything, you are now licensed, all right? Now the thing with becoming licensed in your state, so Pennsylvania requires 3,000 hours, and I know it sounds like a shit ton. It really isn't, okay? Once you are ready to go through licensure, it requires 3,000 hours of supervision. Okay, there are certain areas of, you know, criteria that you must meet. You know, how is he or she, you know, meeting those requirements, and what areas, blase blase. So the state board, so Pennsylvania State Board, has it broken down for you for where you can put in what hours, who the supervisor was, please, you know, uploading your paperwork and such like that too. So it is fairly easy. With my licensure, it took like 5 months. There was a huge backlog. Okay, so I was kind of nervous, like, did I make it, did I not make it, you know? But I will tell you right now, you want to ensure that you have everything uploaded all at once, because if it's not uploaded when your time comes, they will bust you to the back of the line. Okay, personal experience. So make sure that all of your stuff is turned in. Okay, from there, you want to just keep monitoring. They have like a status bar, kind of see like where you are, not like in queue, but package received or not received. You know, your training, you need ethics training, you need blase blase blase, whatever they ask you to do, and it's not like unethical or anything like that, you do it in order to get this license. The license is good for 2 years, especially if you go from odd year to odd year. So let's say, for example, it's 2020 now, so 2021 will be the start of the new licensure. So I have to go up for reattestation, or recertification, I guess, relicensure for next year. If you allow your license to lapse, you're gonna have to start the process over. Okay, whenever it comes to that, it shows it's a breach, basically. Like, you let it pass, and a lot of licensing boards are not receptive of that, because it's like, if you're not responsible to be on top of your licensure, then what the hell, you know, basically. That's a mindset I would probably have. And you know, if there are some extenuating circumstances, then have a head start beforehand, but this is your license. This is something that you worked so hard for, okay? So you want to stay focused on that, okay? With that being said, the maintaining copies of your not just your license, but like your resumes, copies of your official transcripts, because when you go into your big kid job, they're going to ask for those things, you know, for credentialing and such like that. They want to make sure, you know, that you did earn your degree, because let's be real here, if it's on there, it's kind of like the military. If it's on there in regulation, somebody tried to mess up somehow, some way, okay, tried to beat the system, and that's why they call to verify, you know. They look at those things because people have tried to portray somebody that is licensed, or doctors or things like that, and they got away with it up until somebody in the field discovered something and they screwed themselves. Okay, so this is actually for kind of like your safety's sake as well, because do you want somebody who isn't really a therapist working on people? Do you know what I mean? Like that. This is why we have ethics. This is why we have our code to follow. Okay, you want to be able to kind of be that example too. Yeah, I'm goofy and everything else too. I may not be like your traditional therapist by any means, especially if you watched any of my videos, but you know, in this field, you come to discover that laughter is important. Kind of helps break the tension, breaks the ice, help people, depending on the circumstance and the topic, to kind of get through shit. Especially whenever it's some really heavy, you know, situations or issues going on, okay? But you get to learn all of those things in school. So hopefully this video did help some. I felt like I was kind of going everywhere, but trying to keep things in order. So main premise, your bachelor's degree, okay? Something in a related field, close field, helping field, okay? Finding whether or not you want a brick and mortar school or an online school, but that will help you with your license for your state that meets the requirements. Okay. Apply, do whatever prerequisites, or, you know, upload, mail, what type of paperwork and such you need for the school. If and when you get accepted, go through orientation, go through all that stuff, go to the bookstore, get your books, okay? And study. Take the NCEs, all right, at school if you can, because like I said, it helps with, because all your information is fresh, all right? You'll have your cohort there. If you're, you know, again, difference between MAP and MSCP are 12 hours. Yes, it's 12 hours, but that's your supervision. That's what people look for. People that have done the MAP, guess what they got to do after their MAP? They have to go through supervision anyways. So get it done. Just get it done. Okay. And once you graduate with that lovely diploma, you want to ensure that to be licensed in your state, and like I said, so in the state of Pennsylvania, it is 3,000 hours, okay? But, I mean, really, as you're going on, you're seeing a patient an hour each, groups 2 hours, you know, it just depends on what you're doing. It goes by very quickly. Keep a good log of all that stuff that you need to do and turn everything in. Once, so like I said, I'm coming up for relicensure, reattestation next year, so February to be exact. I have all of my CEUs completed. For the state of Pennsylvania, we need 30 hours, okay? And one of those blocks, so 3 of those blocks, okay, 3 hours, has to be ethics. No matter what, it has to be ethics, okay? And then everything else too can be in whatever. So I did lots of trauma, I did lots of, you know, suicide prevention, depression, all those things. And depending on where you go or what you're doing and stuff, they say that, oh, well, you don't have to. But if you get audited, you need to provide those copies, just so you know. Make copies of everything. So in that way you have it, okay? But that's it. That's it in a nutshell. Okay, and I'm almost just about done with my face. I'm gonna be on camera. So like I said, but that's it, you know, that's it in a nutshell. It's not as complicated as it seems, or I made it sound like, and I promise you that wasn't my goal. So that's it, all right. Add a little bit of powder because I'll be on camera. But if there are any other questions or concerns or anything that you have, please message me, let me know. I can give you whatever references I do have for Pennsylvania that will help you. For other states, I can try and guide you in the right direction. Okay, all right, just the lip. All right, thank you for getting ready with me, and I hope this helps you, and I'll hope to see you soon and working with you. Okay, bye.